Well, if you're new to this, maybe you're someone who's only recently started pulling her hair. Or maybe you're the parent of a youngster who you just discovered has been pulling her hair. You're probably desperately looking for answers right about now. I mean, where do you go for help with this thing? You Google a therapist in your area and pretty quickly you find that there are no shortage of therapists. And although many of them are likely to tell you they can probably handle this, you'll also run into many who ethically will tell you it's not necessarily their area of expertise and you should probably look elsewhere. The truth is, it's hard to find a professional who really knows their way around this stuff. And until you do, you're quite likely to be disappointed in your results. And when that starts to happen time and time again, it can start to do a number on your confidence. You start to think, hey, I've been to all these people for help, all these different places. No one's really been able to help me make any progress. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe that nothing's working. Maybe I'm a lost cause. So before you get to that very dark place, I want to help. In this current series of videos, starting with this one, I'm going to introduce you to several of the most commonly used forms of treatment for trichotillomania, their strengths and their weaknesses, and hopefully this will help you decide which of these approaches feels like it might be the right one for you or your loved one. Sound like a plan? Great. Stay tuned. Okay, so briefly, there are four major, or let's say most popular or oft-used, therapeutic models of treatment for trichotillomania. And we're going to run through each of them in this current series of videos. When we're done, I'm going to talk about one more model that probably fits into the cognitive behavioral genre of therapies, but it's newer and it's really so distinctly different from anything else that's currently being used by the conventional mental health community, and the results by and large have been stellar. It deserves its own special video. So we're going to get to that very soon. I do want to say that this discussion will not include possible avenues of treatment, things like medication, some alternative forms of therapy, including straight-ahead hypnosis and things like that. That's not to say these forms of intervention can't be helpful for the right people. They certainly can. But our discussion over these next several videos is going to focus on the four most common forms of traditional therapy for trichotillomania. And then to wrap things up, one relatively new but very exciting development in the area of trichotillomania treatment. So let's get started. Now, let me begin by telling you a little bit about my credentials so you know why you should be listening to me. My wife Clay and I have been working with stress, anxiety, and related behavioral problems since about the year 2000. At the time we're making this video, that's 22, almost 23 years now. I have personally been featured in numerous radio, TV, and print media, including an appearance on the Discovery Health Channel where I helped a woman clear an intense 20-year phobia in less than 10 minutes right there on national TV. So 23 years, yeah, long enough to know our way around this stuff. Now we've been seeing trichotillomania cases almost exclusively since 2006. So again, as of the time we're making this video, that puts us about 16 years, maybe 17 years just doing trichotillomania and other what we call body-focused repetitive behaviors, or BRFPs. Okay? In that time, Clay and I have seen many hundreds of clients from all over the country and many parts of the world. We've worked successfully with people both in person and via Zoom-based video conferencing, and we have an exemplary track record of success. If you're interested in some outside confirmation of that, please visit our review page at Trustpilot. So now, you'd probably agree that 17 years working in the trenches almost exclusively with trichotillomania is enough time to know what else is out there. What's working, what's not. And my job in this video is to just run all this by you, to tell you what I believe are the useful elements of each of these treatment or coaching models, as well as maybe, what parts of these have some potentially serious limitations. Of course, also things you'd want to be considering, all right? Now, with all of that said, let's just jump right in and begin our review with a discussion of standard talk therapy. Another term for this is insight-oriented therapy. Depending on where you live or what you might find available in your area for direct face-to-face treatment, probably what you're most likely to run into are more typical standard talk therapists. Okay, so what is insight-oriented therapy? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like it is. If you've ever gone to see a traditional therapist or a counselor, it's kind of like that. We're talking about someone who may well be an experienced therapist, but they don't necessarily have any direct or particular expertise or experience working with trichotillomania, dermatillomania, or other body-focused repetitive behaviors, right? Generally speaking, the talk therapist's job is to talk you through your situation with you. And by way of useful questions and getting you to look at what's going on in more detail, to help you see and understand some things about what's going on when you pull, like what's making you do it, what your triggers are, etc., so that the hope and expectation is that with a closer look, hopefully, eventually, the light bulb will come on, right? You'll come to understand things better. And because you understand things better, I don't know, I guess you'll stop having the urges to pull. I think that's the idea. Okay, so now the positives of this kind of approach. Well, it can never hurt to look more closely at, in particular, a problem situation that you're experiencing in your life. Just holding it inside, never talking about it, it's not a great way to solve any problem. Talking about it can be helpful. It can help you understand some things about what's going on that you didn't understand before. It can help you feel more understood. It can help you get some things off your chest. It may help you understand your behavioral patterns, and in that way certainly create some useful insight. Now, as it relates specifically to trichotillomania, however, the challenge with this kind of therapy is that it's all based on conscious learning and insight. The problem with that is that, rarely does a person ever consciously decide, well, this would be a great time to pull. No, instead, the thing that makes most people pull their hair is not any genuine desire or well thought out decision to do so, but instead a feeling, right? Like an urge or a compulsion to pull, and often a strong one, an irresistibly strong one. But when did you ever consciously decide to have an urge? And even if you did, when would you ever consciously choose to create the urge to pull hair out of your body? Well, of course, never, right? In fact, haven't you probably more than once put your foot down and decided you're sick and tired of pulling your hair? And this time you're really going to stop. And yet, a day or two or three later, or maybe a week or two at the outside, there you are and you're right back at it again. Despite what you and I both know is your conscious wish to stop. So this must mean chronic hair pulling is a subconsciously driven problem, not a conscious one, right? And your subconscious is the part of you that, of course, is least likely to be positively impacted by what this is, which is conscious, insight-oriented work. That's why conscious attempts to rein in what are really unconsciously driven behaviors are almost always going to end up in disappointment and failure. You're dealing with apples and oranges. Does this make sense? You need something that's going to have an impact for you at the unconscious level, because that's the part of you that creates your feelings, including your urges and compulsions. Unfortunately, talk therapy is rarely, if ever, going to accomplish that. So what do you think? Have you ever engaged in talk therapy, particularly with regard to hair pulling? What was that like for you? Did you find it helpful? If so, how? If not, why do you suppose that was? Drop us a note in the comments below, okay? I hope you found this video, this part 1, helpful. If you did, please go ahead and pound that like button, and please do subscribe to our channel. We'd love to be able to notify when we have new content and more helpful videos coming your way. And you know what? Go ahead and hit that reply button below and leave us a comment. Talk to us. How did this video impact you? If you're watching this video at our Facebook community page, please leave a comment there. We'd love to meet and chat with you. In fact, if you have questions about trichotillomania or hair pulling in general, you're just not quite sure where to go for answers, please visit our website at www.trich-free.com. You'll see a Contact Us link at the upper right of all of our web pages. We do actually look through all the questions that come into us very carefully, just like we do to the comments and questions that show up here at our YouTube channel, and we do our best to answer as many of those questions in these very videos as possible. Again, please do be sure to like and subscribe. We're here to entertain, inform, and most importantly, to empower you to begin taking control of your hair pulling in ways you probably never imagined possible before. If you'd like to reach out to us directly to get some information about how we can help you or a loved one, feel free to visit our website at www.trich-free.com. If you'd like, you can write to us at relief@trich-free.com, and you can also call us at any time of day or night toll-free at 833-TRICH-FREE. Thanks again for watching. I'm Robert Mantell with the Trichotillomania Relief Specialists. Here's wishing you an amazing trick-free week.